The Young and the Restless has dropped an explosive new preview video. It shows Victor expressing his displeasure over the Newman women handling Jordan without him. Meanwhile, Mariah panics over Tessa and Aries' disappearance. Also, watch out for the ultimate showdown between Ian Ward and the Newmans. Aunt Jordan is a tough cookie to crumble, and no one knows that better than Victor Newman. Thus, he rightly calls it out in the recent The Young and the Restless preview video. When Victoria claims that Jordan is gone and they are all rid of her forever, Victor disagrees. He warns that this isn't over and something else is coming. Honestly, we feel he could be right. Next, Maria begins to panic when she realizes that Tessa and Aries are not at home. She lets Sharona and Nick in on her fears. Nick is confused over how Tessa and Aries could just be gone. Maria explains that they aren't home, and she is unable to reach Tessa on her phone. This has Ian Ward written all over it. Will Mariah realize what's going on here? Ian Ward walks in with a gun. The preview video cuts to Ian Ward barging into the Newman ranch with a gun in hand. He calls out to Nikki Newman, asking her to come down and witness what he is about to do to her family. Victor Newman, Nick, and Michael Baldwin are shocked to see Ian training a gun at them. It looks like a final showdown is coming. Some leaked BTS pictures show blood on Ian's sweater, the very sweater he is wearing in the scene. Hey everyone, welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers have Sharon Newman going through a literal sewer of drama lately. The lady managed to flee Jordan's filthy setup to resume her normal life. But Sharon deserves way more than just pouring coffee at Crimson Lights again, right? I&R must give her a spicy storyline that matches her vibe. Well, there's one that might just turn Sharon's life completely upside down. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Will Dylan turn Sharon's life around? The Young and the Restless spoilers spill that fans are so over Ian Ward and Jordan's shenanigans. Plus, Sharon needs to take a breather from these hyperactive adventures that drive her nuts. Can she just have a regular, relatable headache for a change? The arrival of Sharon's ex-husband, Dylan McAvoy, can give us what we want. But there's a catch: Steve won't play the role this time, and it's time for some blazing recasting. Meanwhile, the character was under witness protection and had to bolt out from Genoa City for his safety in 2017. What if Dylan heads back to town to take his old flame by surprise? He can be like, "The danger's gone, Sharon, and I never stopped loving you." Sharon's reaction? The woman will go blank, wondering how to respond. The twist could set the stage for a good old love triangle. After all, Nick Newman's TLC for Sharon has melted her heart. She couldn't be any more impressed at how Nick remained gutsy throughout the kidnapping episode. Moreover, she'll never forget how Nick tried his best to clear her name from the murder. So their reunion seems inevitable, but Dylan's entry can change their relationship dynamics. The most fun part? Dylan isn't just Sharon's ex, but also Nick's half-brother. He is Nikki Newman's son with Paul Williams. Can you imagine two brothers fighting over Sharon's heart? Talk about a must-watch TV storyline. We can't wait to witness every second of this love triangle madness. Well, that's the end of one reign of terror in Genoa City. And we have got to give the Young and the Restless kudos for offing dear, psychotic Aunt Jordan in spectacularly gruesome fashion. On the Friday, January 24th episode, the Newman family gathered around to see Jordan off, and we don't men on vacation. Claire, of course, filled a teacup with sleeping pills, which Jordan happily drank, saying she'd rather be dead than back in prison. To Victoria's credit, she did try to call an ambulance, but Jordan wouldn't let her. After some back and forth, Victor, Nikki, Victoria, and Claire all gathered around to watch Jordan slowly die before their eyes. And before she went, she got one last knife twist in, calling Claire a murderer, just like her. Jordan's niece, though, did show an ounce of compassion at the end, holding her troubled aunt's hand as she passed away. But the empathy ended there. They covered Jordan's body with a blanket while Victor called his team in to handle the matter. He then made it clear that Nikki, Victoria, and Claire will all tell the police the truth, his version of the truth. Jordan escaped prison, made her way to the ranch to threaten them, and knowing she'd have to go back to prison, drank poison. And that, Victor declared, was that. Jordan took her final bow, and Colleen Zink's surprising run on Young and Restless appears to have come to an end after over a year of causing mayhem in Genoa City. Aunt Jordan first popped up in November of 2023, when we learned that she was guiding the mysterious Claire on a mission of revenge against the Newmans. All of this was, ostensibly, retaliation for the death of her sister Eve. After her first attempt to make the Newmans pay ended with Jordan in prison, and Claire shaking off a lifetime of brainwashing, Eve's twisted sister surprised us all when she reappeared to team up with Ian. They've been making life hell for Victor and his clan ever since offing Heather and framing Sharon for the killing. Now, though, she's gone, and we have to wonder if Ian won't be far behind. Our sister site Deadline spoke to head writer and executive producer Josh Griffith, who confirmed her exit, saying, "We appreciate all of the incredible work that the amazing Colleen Zink brought to the Young and the Restless and the role of Aunt Jordan." At the tack house, Jordan drinks the tea and smashes the cup on the floor. She'll gladly drink more if she has more. She won't let Victor Newman put her back in prison or cage her in a dungeon. Victor asks what she's talking about. Claire says she put poison in Jordan's tea. She's expecting them to call an ambulance to save her life. Jordan asks if Claire will stand there and watch her loving aunt die before her very eyes. Jordan tells Claire she doesn't have the guts to go through with this. Nikki sneers that she's stronger than she ever gave her credit for. Jordan rants about the sacrifices she made for Claire. Has she forgotten the good times? Victoria hollers at her to stop it. She refuses to let her back in her daughter's head. Jordan says she already is, and Victoria will never be the way she is. Victoria won't have Jordan's death on Claire's conscience and says she'll call an ambulance. Jordan knocks her phone out of her hand. You won't. In the jazz lounge, Jack spots Billy at the bar and turns to leave. Billy calls out to him, "You don't have to run away." Jack's not looking for an argument. Neither is Billy. He wants to buy his brother a drink. They sit and debate whether Billy's drowning. Billy thought he had all the answers, but he needs to stop fighting and start listening to the ones he respects. That includes Jack and everyone else who's warned he's heading off a cliff. Jack asks, "What is going on?" Billy says things have been bad since he lost Abbot Chancellor. The anger and outrage got the best of him. First, it was all about Victor stealing from him. He wanted to hurt the man who hurt him. Jack rolls his eyes. That's a full-time job. Billy says the drowning sensation has more to do with his mother and the pain and hurt she caused him when she did what she did. Billy wanted to blame Victor for taking advantage of her poor health. Then it dawned on him that he'd need to go after his family, namely Adam, but Phyllis talked him out of it. No one believes he can take down the big white whale or that he should even try. Jack asks if he's letting this go for good then. Billy says he has issues with his mother that have nothing to do with Chancellor. After he resolves those, he can think about his next career move. Jack is proud of his brother. Nothing good comes of bloodthirsty revenge. Billy says his success won't come from dragging someone down, but building himself up. He has good ideas. Jack believes he does. In fact, he's willing to talk about bankrolling one of them. At Sharon's place, Mariah and Nick usher her inside, talking about taking her to the hospital to get checked out. Faith appears and throws herself into her mother's arms. They sit, and Sharon is so glad to see her daughter's faces. It's such a relief to be home. Nick wants her to go to the hospital, but Sharon refuses. Nick tells the girls they know who did this to their mom. It was Jordan. They ask how that's possible. Nick says she found someone to take her place in prison. Mariah guesses she had help. Nick says Ian arranged the prison switch, and Jordan claims he's the one who killed Heather to get Sharon out of the way, so he had a clear path to Mariah. Mariah can't believe that all of this is because of her. Nick and Sharon work hard to convince Mariah that this isn't on her. Sharon still can't understand how Jordan is involved. Did she even know Ian? Nick says it's a long, involved story. She needs to rest. Faith wants her mother to see a doctor. Sharon will see one in the morning, but tonight she wants her own bath and bed. She notices Mariah crying. Maria throws her arms around her. "Mom, I'm so sorry." Maria says this was exactly what she was afraid of, that she was the reason the psycho came to town. Look what happened to Heather. Daniel and Lucy's lives have been destroyed, so he could get back at her. Nick says she's a victim like everyone else. Maria understands that logically, but the lengths Ian has gone to get to her is insane. She recounts her fight with Tessa, who suggested he had changed. "I said some things I regret." Sharon's sure her wife will forgive her. Maria complains that the monster is trying to destroy her life all over again. In the tack house, Victor and Nikki holler at Jordan and tell her how vile she is, even as she's dying. Jordan is just trying to make it as memorable as possible. Victoria tells her to shut her filthy mouth. Jordan asks Claire, "What kind of poison was it?" "The same kind we used on them. The slow-acting one that causes such severe pain and spasms." She sits on the sofa and asks, "How much time do I have left?" Claire tells her she has 10 minutes, maybe less. She dumped a bottle of sleeping pills in her tea. Jordan complains that she taught her to be more creative than that. Victoria says there's still time to call for help. Jordan won't have it. Every time Claire closes her eyes, she'll be right there reminding her of what she's done to her. "You're a murderer, Claire, just like me." Claire tells her she's wrong. "I am grateful to be a Newman." Jordan sneers, "You ungrateful little bitch. You disgust me." Jordan tells Claire it's all a hoax and her newfound family is a lie. Victor bellows, "That's enough. Tell me where I can find Ian Ward." Jordan says he's too late and she hopes her Ian destroys every one of them. Victor says it will never happen. They'll meet soon enough and will be dancing in hell. How's that? Huh. In the jazz lounge, Billy tells Jack he appreciates his offer of funding. Jack believes he's capable of great things and cannot wait to hear his ideas. Billy tells him he'll be the first call when he figures out what's next. Jack understands he has to sort out his Jill issues first. He can't imagine how gut-wrenching her disapproval was. Sally appears and has been looking for Billy. "I have a surprise for you." At Sharon's place, Nick tells Mariah not to let Ian hurt her more than he already has. Sharon thinks she should go make things right with Tessa. He wants to cause a rift between them. Faith adds, "Don't give him the satisfaction." Mariah worries about leaving Sharon, but Faith says she'll be there. Nick reminds her he'll be at the main house. In the tack house, Jordan remarks on them watching her die. Have they even thought about how they'll get rid of her body? Nikki wonders if she's concerned about her victims. Jordan tells Claire she loved her, and she's completely sold her soul to these people. Claire hasn't sold her soul. "If anything, I reclaimed it after you stole it, tried to twist it into something evil like you." Jordan says she'll never be part of their world and gasps about her sister. She asks if Claire'll miss her. Claire takes her aunt's hand as she succumbs. Victor declares, "That's the end." Victoria sits by Claire and hugs her. At the Abbott mansion, Diane tells Jack she's been looking at old magazines for inspiration for the Jabot Classics line. She notices Jack's good mood, so he tells her he had a civil conversation with Billy, who has done some serious soul-searching. Losing to Victor seems to have matured him. Diane is glad Billy's walking away. Jack feels bad that he feels betrayed by his mother, and his dreams for Abbott Chancellor went up in smoke, but it's a chance to go in a whole new direction. He looks forward to seeing where it takes him. Sally takes Billy into a darkened house with his eyes closed. "Don't open them." Once she turns on the light, she tells him to open his eyes. Billy gawps, "Wow." She reminds him he asked her to help with his new place. He says, "Sally, this is amazing." She asks if he likes the color scheme. He loves it and is feeling the good vibes of her feng shui. Sally says, "Come here," and shows him the photos of his family members she's sprinkled around. Billy sighs as he spots Delia's picture. It's his favorite. He marvels over Sally's attention to detail. This is exactly the uplifting surprise he needed right now. It's a fresh start. Sally needed something positive to focus on too. They kiss. Billy tells Sally he's going to love living there. "I think this calls for a celebratory drink." Sally brought champagne, so they sit down to pour. Billy has more good news. It has to do with Chancellor. He says it's time for him to set a new path forward. Much like what this house represents. It's time to let go of the anger and animosity and get his life back on track. Sally's proud of him. Congratulations. They toast to a new day. At Sharon's place, she's cleaned up and in a tracksuit and tells Faith and Nick how happy she is to be home. She asks Nick if Ian and Jordan have been caught yet. Nick says the family had Jordan cornered at Vic's place and have undoubtedly turned her over to the police. Sharon's relieved. And Ian? Nick's sure they'll find him soon, and he'll be arrested for Heather's murder. We're getting close. Sharon hates that Maria feels responsible for the monster's actions. They'll be there for her. Sharon tells them they also have to let Daniel and Lucy know that they found out who killed Heather. Nick assures her they'll tell them in the morning. Tonight, she needs to rest. Faith hugs her mom and heads upstairs. Sharon tells Nick, "That is what kept me going." She kept thinking about her family and getting back to the kids. She cries, "That and a little bit of help from you." Nick learns that when she was on the PCP, he kept appearing to her with encouragement, like her guardian angel. "You saved me. You pushed me to get myself out of there." Nick's glad he could help her on some level. They embrace. At the tack house, Jordan is covered with a blanket. Victor calls for a team to come to the tack house. Nikki wonders what they'll do with her. Victor thinks they should tell the police the truth. She escaped from prison with the help of Ian Ward and made her way onto the ranch with intent to kill them. When she realized she'd have to go back to prison, she drank some poison. Victoria tells Claire, "It's finally over, sweetheart," and hugs her. At the ranch house, Nikki asks, "Can I get anyone anything? I doubt we're going to be able to sleep anytime soon." Victor says before she does anything there's something he needs to know. What were the three of you thinking? Well, it was a bit of a twist that Billy decided to abandon his fight against Victor. I honestly didn't know whether to feel relieved or disappointed, given that it might have provided some sorely needed drama had he teamed with Phyllis and actually been successful. Bottom line, there's no denying the character's grievances have become repetitive and played out. Billy was, in fact, drowning, so that was an apt word to use in his dialogue. That said, Billy hasn't completely let go of his man Payne. He still has issues with Jill. Whether we'll see those difficulties addressed on-screen or not remains to be seen. As for his future with Sally, we are still expecting the promised/threatened love triangle. Jordan's reign of terror came to a curiously anticlimactic end as the Newmans gathered in the tack house to watch her succumb to the effects of a teacup full of sleeping pills. The acting in these scenes was top drawer, however, the scenario itself was a little disappointing as this supposed mastermind lamely walked into an obvious trap and then just gave up. If nothing else, one expects evildoers to go out in spectacular soapy fashion. Heck, Jordan's death didn't even qualify as a shocking episode ender. Instead, it happened mid-show, and we moseyed right on to the reveal of Billy's new interior design. Vote on Jordan's death here. Thankfully, the Mad Woman was able to provide us with some drama along the way. Colleen's ink will be missed on the soap. Such a treat to have her on. It makes you wish they'd found a way to keep her. Wait, perhaps they did. Claire having dosed Jordan so she could play dead and then escape later certainly would be dramatic. Regardless, here's hoping this experience will leave Claire forever changed. The Pollyanna bit was unbelievable enough before this, and it certainly won't fly now. There's an opportunity here to cause conflict between Claire and Kyle as well, but I've a feeling we won't get it. She'll tell him a sanitized version of events, and he'll kiss her on the forehead. Sharon's portion of the storyline also fell flat. We like to see our heroines carried out of the sewer by a knight in shining armor, thank you. Even though Nick never made it in time, he received credit nonetheless, as Sharon told him he appeared to her in her time of need and urged her to fight. It definitely was Nick, not the PCP. Anyway, it was a bit of a letdown for the beleaguered Sharon to have to drag herself up out of the underground. They could have at least let her run straight into Ian Ward when she got above ground, rather than oh so conveniently meet up with her own daughter and go home. These writers shun so many opportunities for drama. Jordan's death was a fizzle, but we still have Ian Ward, who may be about to bite off more than he can chew. Thanks to the weekly preview, we know he's disappeared Tessa and Aria, which is going to morph Maria's teary guilt feelings into rage, or so we hope. Meanwhile, we've been teased with Ian pulling a gun on the great Victor Newman and co. at the ranch, which doesn't bode well for the villain's future. The only question remaining, really, is whether he'll be sent back to prison or meet an end similar to his former partner in crime. It would be a choice to kill off two perfectly good villains in one storyline, so there's a chance Ward may live to see another day. We shall see. The Young and the Restless spoilers for January 27 to 31 focus on wrapping up the Jordan situation and bringing Ian down for good. Next week, Genoa City will experience a storm of emotions: anger, hate, shock, despair, worry, and fear. Those are just a few. Claire, Nikki, and Victoria spearheaded the end of Crazy Aunt Jordan. To be fair, Claire was the captain of the battleship that sank one of the Newman family's biggest nemesis. And you know Victor. He didn't appreciate being out of the loop of the plan against Jordan. You bet he's the one to take care of her equally insane partner in crime. On Wednesday, Victor vows to stop Ian Ward at all costs, leading to a shocking turn of events. At the end of next week, Kyle pushes Claire to come clean. Does she fess up to how far she had to go to ruin her aunt? More importantly, how much does Claire change from the experience? She had to go 0 dark 30 in order to trap Jordan. Will it be hard to return to the kinder, gentler Claire? Do we need to get used to a brand new version? Claire probably thinks she has everything handled. Maria, on the other hand, knows she's spiraling, and she can't figure out how to stop. The scars from Ian raising her are deep, and his return triggered her big time. But she can't process things just yet. Maria has to worry about Tessa's safety. In Y and R's video teaser for next week, it seems like Maria's wife has disappeared. Aria, too. Ian claims he returned to Genoa City to make amends with Mariah. Nope, it was to control her all over again, and he'll do anything to get her under his thumb. What happens when Thursday rolls around and Maria's world is rocked? Victor thought he had the upper hand when he burst in on Claire, Victoria, and Nikki's plan first to get Jordan to confess where she was holding Sharon, then kill her. Those little women can't be trusted to manage a big job like this alone. But it's all right. Victor would take over with the threatening and the cross-examining. He got lucky. Luck? No, it was skill. Everything Victor does is a stroke of brilliance on his part. When Mariah called Nick to say she'd found Sharon. Now Jordan had nothing to hold over Victor's head, but then Jordan swallowed the poison Claire left for her, and all Victor could do was yell at her about hell and give him what he wanted before she kicked off. Now, there's a dead body on his hands, which means it's time for Victor to switch into cleanup mode. Both Sharon and Mariah were victims of Jordan's partner, Ian. But nonetheless, they can't help blaming themselves at least somewhat. Sharon goes back over every choice she's made in her life, all the mistakes she's made, and all the people she's left by the wayside. Maria, on the other hand, has more concrete concerns. Jordan may be gone, but Ian is still out there scheming and plotting, and a threat to the people Maria loves, especially Aria and Tessa, whom Ian seems to have charmed, no matter what Maria says. At the tack house, Jordan drank poisoned tea, smashed the mug, and defiantly declared she'd rather die than become Victor's prisoner again. Claire revealed the tea was poisoned, and Jordan taunted her niece, claiming she'd always saved her in the past. Victoria tried to stop Jordan from manipulating Claire, but Jordan boasted she had already embedded herself in Claire's mind. Victoria threatened to call for help, but Jordan knocked the phone away, claiming she wanted her death to be memorable. Claire said that the poison would take effect in 10 minutes. As Jordan faded, she accused Claire of betrayal and lashed out at the Newmans. She hoped that Ian would destroy them. Finally, Jordan died, grasping Claire's hand. Victor decided to create a cover story about Jordan's suicide. Meanwhile, Sharon returned home with Nick and Mariah after being chained in the sewer since New Year's Eve. Faith was overjoyed to see her mom. Sharon reassured her family that their love had kept her going through the nightmare. They comforted Mariah. She blamed herself for Ian and Jordan's actions. Nick told her it wasn't her fault. He encouraged Mariah to focus on her relationship with Tessa. After a hot bath, Sharon said she was relieved that the ordeal was almost over. Nick updated her on Jordan's capture and Ian's imminent arrest. Sharon was so grateful for her family, and she credited them with saving her. At the jazz lounge, Billy and Jack caught up. Billy admitted he allowed his anger and revenge obsession to consume him. He was especially furious over Victor and Jill. Jack encouraged his brother to let go of the past. He even offered to support Billy's new ventures. Jack's words inspired Billy, and he decided to try to rebuild his life. Later, Sally surprised Billy with his newly redecorated home. She included personal touches like toys and photos from his childhood. Billy was pleased that she'd helped him make a fresh start. They toasted to his new path. Billy seemed to be at a turning point in his life. Some things never change, but others do. On the Young and the Restless Friday, January 24 episode, Billy told Jack that he was turning over a new leaf. He intended to stop focusing on getting revenge on Victor. Interestingly, Billy credited Phyllis with helping him realize he was going too far. Is she really responsible for his reform? Billy told Jack that his plans for revenge scaring Phyllis made him realize he needed to take a big look at himself. While he focused his rage on Victor, Billy realized he was really angry at Jill too. After some introspection, Billy decided to make different choices, which certainly shows some growth considering some of his past questionable actions. Jack was, of course, thrilled with his brother's new leaf, and he offered to help back one of Billy's new ideas whenever he was ready. Of course, while Phyllis's concerns over his revenge plans caused Billy to make a change, Sally also managed to help him tune into his new leaf. She completely redecorated his place, including some of Billy's childhood toys and photos of his children, including Delia. Billy is poised for an entirely fresh start. Unexpectedly, Phyllis helped him get there. But is she really his savior? We have a hard time believing it will last, especially if Phyllis is involved. Over the years, both Billy and Phyllis have proven that even when they try hard, they're incapable of staying happy and healthy for too long. Is this truly going to be a new direction for Billy? Or will this be another failed attempt with Phyllis possibly derailing things? Who knows? Perhaps this is a red herring sent by Billy before he truly unleashes his plans for Victor. Let us know in the comments below what you think is in Billy's immediate future. Nikki, Claire, Victoria, and Victor have returned to the ranch house after Jordan died in the tack house. Victor called his security team to deal with the body, so they came back to the living room. Nikki didn't think anyone was going to be sleeping that night and asked if she could get them anything. "Before you do, there is something I need to know. What were the three of you thinking?" Victor bellowed. Nikki crosses her arms and looks at him defiantly. Victoria wants to defend their decision, but knows her dad isn't backing down. Victoria asks Victor, "Jordan's gone. Isn't that all anyone needs to know?" Dissatisfied with the secrecy, Victor leans in towards his daughter and hollers, "Trust me, this isn't over." Victoria and Claire look at Victor, worried. Elsewhere on the ranch, Maria has returned to Sharon's. She and Tessa had had a huge fight about Ian, and how Tessa was sympathetic to him. Maria had stormed off, but thankfully, she did as she came upon Sharon at the lookout in the park on her way by. After bringing Sharon home with Nick, Maria discovered that Jordan was behind her mom's kidnapping and that she was working with Ian. Maria felt guilty enough that this all traced back to Ian's obsession with her. But then she found out that Ian had killed Heather as a means to get to her. Sharon and Nick told Maria to go tell Tessa and make up with her, but when she got home, Tessa and Aria weren't there. Maria has called Tessa, but she isn't answering her phone. Distraught, Maria returns to Sharon's and tells Nick and Sharon that her wife and baby are missing. Has Ian taken them? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire Grace Newman managed to trick Jordan. It took everything Claire had inside of her. While Claire seems fine mentally and even very strong, that facade could come crashing down soon enough. Could facing Jordan just be too much for Claire's mental health to take? Could we see a darker Claire emerge? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Claire Grace Newman's reformation. E&R spoilers reveal that Claire got out of treatment and was suddenly a naive young girl. It was quite the transformation from the woman who helped Jordan kidnap and drug the Newman family. Fans weren't sure for a while if Claire's reformation was real or not. It does seem to be a genuine reformation, but we have to wonder if Claire meant some of those things she said about the Newman family in a recent episode. By and R spoilers. Victoria Newman's observation. When Claire realized that Jordan was back, the young woman followed her evil aunt. It was a pretty bold and dangerous move. After Claire told Victoria Newman and Nikki Newman about Jordan, she came up with a plan. The plan really seems to be premeditated. Maybe Jordan's possible escape has been on Claire's mind for a while. However, it really seems that Claire has turned a dark page. Even Victoria mentioned how cold and callous Claire seems about this situation. The Young and the Restless spoilers tricking Jordan. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire did trick Jordan. Then, Claire nearly got Jordan's trust. Suddenly, when Sharon Newman was mentioned, Claire told Jordan to not drink the tea. That was the big tip-off. However, Victor Newman also showed up at the last minute. Y and R spoilers. Unexpected price. While Claire did succeed in tricking Jordan, the villain's fate is unclear. While Jordan gulped the tea, was it really poisoned? I really don't think Claire could go that far even if she wanted to. No matter what happens to Jordan, Claire seems strong right now. This scheme could prove to be too much for Claire's mental health. Claire intended to stop Jordan from hurting anyone ever again. However, Claire seemingly had to channel Jordan. Claire needed to think and strategize like Jordan. That might just be too much for Claire to take mentally, though. Could we see Claire go back down a dark path? Could Claire's redemption attempt turn into a mental health nightmare? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott has been growing closer to Claire Newman for months. Kyle has only seen the good side of Claire, her interactions with his son. However, Kyle has heard about Claire's life with Jordan Howard. Will Kyle be shocked by how far Claire will go to get rid of her aunt? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Claire Newman is Victor Newman's granddaughter. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Claire is certainly proving that she is Victor Newman's granddaughter. Claire has set up her aunt and lured her into a trap where she plans to have her killed. Kyle has no idea that any of this has taken place. However, Kyle will likely find out as soon as Jordan is dealt with. Claire claims that Harrison Abbott is part of the reason that she wants Jordan out of the picture. Claire told Victoria Newman and Nikki Newman that she would not allow Jordan to get to Harrisowing again. How would Kyle feel if he knew his son was being used as a reason to commit murder? I&R spoilers. Is Claire Newman taking things too far? Claire was not happy with the way Kyle handled things with his parents, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins. However, Kyle didn't threaten to kill either of them. Kyle simply cut both of them out of his life. If Claire thought Kyle was too hard on his parents, what does she think resorting to murder is? How could the woman who is so gentle and caring with his son even considering murdering someone, no matter what they have done? Didn't Claire just want her aunt to go to prison? After all, Nikki insisted on saving Jordan when she tried to kill herself before. Claire could not possibly want to see her aunt dead that badly. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Kyle Abbott could break things off. Kyle and Summer Newman seem to be getting along better these days, and Summer obviously misses him. Could Kyle begin to pull closer to Summer and distance himself from Claire? Perhaps Kyle doesn't know Claire as well as he thinks he does and needs to take a step back. Could Kyle be questioning his relationship with Claire after all this time? Kyle may have decided that Claire is far too much like Victor for him to handle. After all, Victor has used Kyle more than once, and he wasn't happy with his actions. Could Kyle believe that Claire is using him as well? Is Kyle worried that Claire may be taking things too far and turning out more like her grandfather every day? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, January 24, promise some major bombshells in the land of Genoa City as fans head into the weekend. A husband questions his wife's decisions, while a character makes a shocking discovery, and someone starts a new chapter. What's said to unravel during Friday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor Newman questions his wife's judgment. We&R spoilers for Friday, January 24, reveal that Victor Newman will question his wife, Nikki Newman's, judgment. Will this be about her not telling him that Jordan was in town and following Claire Newman's over-the-top plan to end the villainous life? Then again, this could be something else. Jordan seemingly drank the oolong tea that Claire had made her during the Thursday, January 23 episode. It was implied that there was poison in it, but was Claire bluffing? If there was poison, would Claire and Nikki try to save Jordan if she did drink poison? Is this why Victor is questioning his wife's judgment? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Y&R spoilers. Mariah Copeland's shocking discovery. Across town, Y&R spoilers for Friday, January 24, suggest that Mariah Copeland will make a shocking discovery. She, thankfully, stumbled upon her missing mom, Sharon Newman, at the park during Thursday's show, and called Nick Newman for help. Still, what else could Mariah find out during Friday's show? Will she learn that Ian Ward was working with Jordan? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Billy Abbott's new chapter. Lastly, some feel-good Y&R spoilers for Friday's episode imply that Billy Abbott will start a new chapter. During the Y&R preview for the week of January 20 to 24, a clip is shown of Sally Spectra needing to interrupt Billy as he chats with his brother, Jack Abbott, at the GCAC Jazz Lounge. It looks like she has some news for her boyfriend. So does this have to do with Billy's new chapter? And what will Sally tell Billy? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Claire Newman could be playing a dangerous game. Could her scheme to rid the world of Jordan Howard backfire? Could it possibly even get Claire killed? It depends on a lot of things, although she and the Newmans might think they're safe. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Lured to drink poison tea? In the most recent episode of the show, Claire had lured Jordan to the tack house where she and her parents had been living. Cole Howard and Victoria Newman and Claire had lived there for a time as a family, and it was the place Cole and Victoria had lived before. This had been before she was born and named baby Eve, only to die in the NICU years later revealed Jordan had kidnapped her. Claire had explained her plan to her mother and grandmother, Nikki Newman, and that the only way to keep them safe would be to kill Jordan. So, once in the tack house and having snowed Jordan, she made her some tea just the way Jordan liked it, possibly poisoned. My and our spoilers. Victor Newman overheard and winds up at the tack house with Nick. While Claire was conning Jordan at the tack house, Chance Chancellor and Nick Newman found proof of Jordan's escape. They also found out about her being Ian Ward's partner in crime. In the meantime, Victor Newman overheard Claire, Nikki, and Victoria plotting and determined to have his men keep an eye on them. In the meantime, Chance spotted the black truck that was connected to Phyllis Summers' wreck near the tack house. He went to check that out, and Nick went to tell Victor. Victor and Nick head to the tack house and arrive at the same time as Nikki and Victoria, and Jordan's cornered Nick gets a call from Mariah Copeland. Sharon Newman was part of Jordan's leverage, and now that she knows she's rescued and she's been conned by Claire, she starts to feel the heat. She tries to pin everything on Ian, and then confesses about Crisscross, which was supposed to get Mariah back for him and Claire back for her. As Victor threatens to kill her himself, she grabs the tea Claire made that's presumably poisoned and guzzles it down in front of them all. Now here's where Claire's plot to end Jordan could backfire. Only she knows if she really poisoned the tea, and if she did, the family knows they'd be good for murder. They could call an ambulance, knowing Chance needs everything to go down by the book. If Jordan lives, then Claire and the rest could be in danger. Why and our spoilers. Or did Jordan Howard switch the poisoned tea? Even though Claire didn't drink any of her tea and stopped Jordan from drinking hers, leading to Jordan to suspect it was poisoned, could she have switched the cups? Jordan could have grabbed Claire's tea instead of hers and fake her poisoning and escape from the hospital again. And now Jordan knows that Claire was out to trick her, and she'll be back to finish her off, and the rest of the Newmans with her. She may very well take out Ian on her way out of town, to return again later. He didn't keep up his part of the bargain and feels used by him. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of January 27, 2025. It shows Ian Ward ambushing the Newman ranch, wildly waving a gun around. Victor Newman is alarmed when Victor Newman changes plans regarding Jordan. Plus, Mariah Copeland panics when Tessa Porter and Aria Copeland Porter go missing. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Jordan Howard's suicidal poisoning. My and our spoilers for the week of January 27 reveal that the preview clip shows that Victor changes his plans after Jordan's alleged death. Jordan gulped the supposedly poisoned tea. However, was it really poisoned? Could Jordan be faking her death? Claire Grace Newman seems to believe Jordan is dead, but nobody felt her pulse. Jordan seems too smart to fall for this, and the ending seemed to be missing something. At the end of the episode on Thursday, January 23, 2025, Victor said they would tell the police the truth. That Jordan escaped prison with the intent of doing their family harm. However, something has changed according to the preview clip for next week. Victoria tells Victor that Jordan is gone. What else does anyone need to know? That is when Victor yells that this isn't over yet. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of January 27 reveal that the preview clip shows Mariah sharing alarming news. Maria holds a teddy bear while explaining her latest crisis to Nick Newman and Sharon Newman. It seems that Tessa and Aria are missing. While Sharon and Nick don't want to further alarm Mariah, they know that Ian must be responsible. Why and our spoilers. Week of January 27, 2025. Next week, Fans can also expect Ian to burst into the Newman family's home. Ian has a gun and is wildly waving it around. Ian yells up the stairs for Nikki Newman to come down. Ian adds that he doesn't want Nikki to miss a moment of what's going to happen to her family. Victor seems pretty calm during this entire ordeal. With Jordan supposedly lying dead on the couch, could there be a twist? Is Jordan still alive? And if so, will it be a duel between her and Ian? Jordan wouldn't save the Newman family but would want to take everyone out in one shot. Of course, it's also possible that Jordan is really dead, and maybe that is what triggers Ian's mad ambush. A few weeks ago, a behind-the-scenes photo showed Braden's arms around Wise's shoulders. Wise had a giant blood stain on the front of his shirt, suggesting he ends up being shot to death. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Billy Abbott is about to start a fresh new chapter in his life. Now this could mean he's ready to dive into his revenge scheme against the Newman family full force. However, what if it means something far more positive? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sally Spectra's surprise pregnancy. Y&R spoilers reveal that there's always a chance that Sally Spectra could end up having a surprise pregnancy. After all, she and Billy have been hitting the sheets a lot lately, so a bun in the oven wouldn't be shocking. Sally has been trying to convince Billy to back off on his revenge plans against Victor Newman for a while now. While she doesn't want to tell Billy what to do, and these plans won't affect their romance, she would prefer if he let go of all the negative feelings he has over losing Chancellor to the mustache. She'd love nothing more than for him to move on. A baby might be the fresh start Billy needs, and the incentive to turn the other cheek where Victor is concerned. So what would Billy do if he found out Sally was expecting? I&R spoilers. Sally Spectra having an Abbott baby is the ultimate payback. With that said, Billy's plan of action for his Victor revenge scheme was to bring Adam Newman down. As Adam and Sally had a baby that unfortunately did not survive and was born prematurely, Billy and Sally's pregnancy would hit Adam very hard. Sally and Adam recently had a chat about their newborn daughter who passed away, baby Eva, and how much they both think of her often. As such, would Billy's ultimate revenge on Adam be living his happily ever after with Sally and their new baby? While Adam is trying to reunite with Chelsea Lawson, could the jealousy over Silly's new baby eat away at him? Could it ruin his own family reunion with Chelsea and Connor Newman? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.